Do you think Jenn Soto and Stephan had a code that they used in communications on the phone when Jenn says, Maddie can't sleep with me anymore, I can't risk it? Is the exchange of me, you, I, we, is this something common in their vernacular because they use this language regularly over the years as a kind of private language, a private code, because of what was happening with Maddie? Now, I do realise that naive people, kind people, good people do get groomed by predators so that the predator can, use and abuse their children. I realise this, but predators, they do actually choose shitty parents. They choose people that, okay, look, it could be, on one hand, not because they're shitty, but because they really have very low self-esteem. I don't think naivety as an excuse cuts it, but it is to do with self-esteem, and we could look at Jenn Soto as having extremely low self-esteem. Number one, she's always making excuses for Stephan, but she went to a car dealership for a job interview. She says to the police officer interviewing her, I was listening to Plunder, some on the docket, some on Grey, but I couldn't bear that for very long. She's saying in one interview, she'd never been asked out in person before. I guess this is a generational issue. And she's so flattered. So she goes for a job interview. She must have been told on the spot that she hasn't got the job, because she's saying, I didn't get the job, but he asked me out. And I was so flattered. I said, I've never been asked out in person before. They went out that very night, I think. She was immediately available. So she's rejected for the job. She doesn't think anything is unusual about this person having her in for a job interview, asking her, rejecting her, asking her out. She goes out that very night. They get very drunk, or at least he does, and she's had a terrible time. She says this is the cause of her post-traumatic stress disorder and that she's medicated for this. And these events, they do give people post-traumatic stress disorder. They do need support medication. They can find situations difficult. But, yes, this probably does show extremely poor judgment, poor self-esteem. But, parents are chosen because they leave their child unprotected. They are making decisions about, is this child under a watchful care? Is the person a very protective person that is the guardian of this child? And by all accounts, Jenn, okay, sure, it could be because of mental illness and how much medication she's on, but she's a very lazy, selfish mother. Very lazy, selfish mother who was neglectful of her child. So, hey, yes, maybe that makes her the perfect victim, and it's then flowed on so that her daughter can be a victim. Maybe she's had quite the useless father figure herself. It possibly seems so. But nothing is excusing her lies. She has lied so many times. She's clearly worried about her reputation, one of which she didn't have in the first place. She cares a great deal. How shamed she feels having her poor parenting highlighted to the world. That's what it's about. Everything about her has been very theatrical, or, well, very performative in these interviews, okay, very performative. And I have wavered about whether she knew Madeline was actually dead on Sunday night, was going to be murdered, was in danger, you know, when she's found out. I think because of the way she relays what conversation happened, about bedtime routines and how contradictory she is about many things, I think that she didn't see Madeline at least awake on Sunday night. I think Madeline most likely was already well and truly drugged by Stephan Stearns at this stage, and there was no conversation about birthday presents, what she ate. She's asked about what did Madeline tell you that she ate? She says, well, Madeline had requested. This is just such a common tactic of Jenn Soto's, isn't it? Madeline had requested beans and rice. That's not saying what Madeline told you that she ate and what she enjoyed. Okay, food is clearly an issue here with stomach contents, etc. Medication, with regards to that, you know, Jenn at some points is making songs and dances about the routine for medication, that Madeline isn't alone to do it herself. She's not trusted. It's highly regulated by, you know, us, you know, being Stephan and Jennifer. But why is Jennifer even letting Stephan near Madeline's meds when she's called the poisons hotline before? And she knows for a fact that Stephan has overdosed her daughter. And when relaying about the evening, she doesn't talk about, oh, you know, make sure, you know, we were making sure she had her meds. It's not part of that Sunday night that she relays. She completely ignores it, as she does for the morning as well. You know, she doesn't say, and I said to Stephan, did Maddie have her meds all right? What time did she take them? Or she doesn't text Maddie in the morning saying, hey, did you have your meds all right? How are you feeling? You know, she's avoiding these topics, and it's just classic liar tactics, you know. Yeah, I just don't believe there was a conversation at all with Maddie. Who knows what Stephan has told her. I mean, you know, and as per probably what a lot of people think, how on earth were there 1,700 photographs of madelinesoto on Stephan's phone when she can count on the one hand the number of times that maybe they had insisted on a sleepover, she calls it. It's so sickening, right? So you know, if Madeline is always sleeping with Jennifer, or very rarely on her own, you know, this whole never, sometimes, always thing, right? When were these 1,700 photos and videos taken, right? Are the police implying, I mean, because they're certainly giving her short shrift, they give her no sympathy whatsoever, and you have to think, do they think that she was actually involved in the taking of these images? Was she, you know, passed out as well? Again, okay, victim. But does Jennifer think that, well, if Madeline's passed out, then it's not so bad? Oh. Anyway, there's so much that what everyone is already talking about as it is. So I'm probably just going to be saying the same things that have already been said copious amounts of times if I start just venting it all out. But what I wanted to say was, do you think this is some type of code that just comes so naturally now out of Jenn's fat mouth to hide things, okay? To hide things, the we, okay? You know, it's just a way she's used to speaking to her family and things like that. We, I, me. To cover who's doing what. I don't know. What do you think?